The information and opinions expressed on Senior Living are neither legally binding nor the responsibility of this cable system. The following program is made possible by a generous donation from the Veterans Assistance Association.
Again, my name is Pat Simasko, and I'm an elder law attorney in Mount Clemens. And thank you for coming to Senior Living. And this is the show that we discuss all of the various topics that I deal with every day with my clients, seniors in the community. And when we talk about the things, we always like to talk about certain areas that our seniors are affected with. And most of them, we have shows on already. The first one is estate planning, how to avoid probate and the documents you need to probate. We talked about long-term care planning with Medicaid planning and veterans benefits. The other area that we want to talk about is financial planning or retirement planning. And that's something that's very dear to my heart, and it's something that affects all of my clients and what's going on with the market today. Volatility of the stock market, interest rates, and that's something that we're all concerned about and we're watching all the time. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that today. As we go forward, if you have any questions, please ask them, and let's get started. Our families that we talk to all the time, they're always concerned. They save their whole life, put together their whole retirement, and now they have a place to put it. Do they put it in stocks and bonds, mutual funds, bank accounts? And with the stock market the way that it is and the bank accounts the way it is, there's a lot of fear out there, a lot of confusion out there. And myself and my own family were faced with the same things. So we're going to be talking about that. And I always want to start with the one question that probably not many people have ever been asked this question. Are you more concerned about how much you're going to make or how much you're going to lose? Okay? Think about that. You've lived your whole life, you worked your whole life, and now we're getting to the age that we want to retire. Are you more concerned about how much you're going to make or how much you're going to lose? Most of my clients, they're more worried about how much they're going to lose because they got years left and they want to save that. They want that money to make it to the end. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that right now. And as we're going forward, this is my philosophy. This is the way that I do it. This is the way that I did it for my family. It's important that whoever you deal with has the same philosophy as you. Okay? So let's get started. And again, if you have any questions, please ask. I'm really excited about this topic. Now, there's only 3 things that we can do with our money. What's the first thing? Spend it. Do we need to be talking about that? Probably not. Okay? The other 2 things that we can do is invest it or save it. Those are the 2 things that you can really do with your money, investing and savings. And the question is, how much do you invest and how much do you save? Okay? So let's look at what the differences are between the 2, investing. The main component with investing is one thing, potential. Your potential to lose your principal. If you have money in an investment, you have the ability to make money, you have the ability to lose your money, right? And it's always the same. And out of the investments, there's 3 common areas for investments. Stocks, variable annuities, or mutual funds, right? Stocks, variable annuities, and mutual funds. And out of all those things, this is a common. They go up and they go down. Your principal, when it's in an investment account, is always moving. It's always going up and it's always going down. It's never It's always fluctuating. It's never staying the same. Your dividends are also fluctuating. Okay? Now, out of all of those stocks, variable mutual funds, mutual funds, I have a graph here that shows the S&P 500. Okay? The S&P 500 is an index that shows basically what our economy is. Okay? It's 500 of the leading companies in the 4 major financial districts. Okay? And if you look at here, this started out in 1998. The S&P 500 was doing great in the 90s. It was just screaming, right? Right up in 2000. Now my story, I like to tell it. My wife doesn't like to hear it though. My father-in-law passed away and my wife inherited $25,000 CD. And we had it in the CD and was only making about 8% interest. Oh my God, 8%. And our financial advisor, why is it in the bank? You should be making 30-40% returns. Put it into a mutual fund. We go, great, let's do it. I want those returns. So we put it in right there. The very next quarter, our $25,000 CD turned into $16,000. They never told us we could lose money. Back in the 90s, whoever thought you could lose money in the market, it was just going sky high. And all of a sudden, reality set in. Right? So what we did, what a lot of people do, we pulled it out because we wanted to protect that money. We wanted to protect it. So we put it into a Michigan Educational Trust Fund for my oldest daughter. We wanted to make sure that money was there when we needed it in the future. Okay? So if you look at the S&P 500, over the last 13 years, these are actual returns as it went up. It went up, it went down, it went back up, and it went back down, and it's finally coming back up again. You see that? Okay. Anybody been faced with that? Anybody worried about that? I think so, right? It's not good. It's not bad. It's just what it is. Over the history of the S&P 500, it makes an average of approximately 7%. From the beginning of it until now, the average is approximately 7%. If you add in dividend reinvestments, it goes up to around 10 to 11%. Right? Now, when do you love the stock market? When it's going up. When do you hate it? When it's going down. When are you supposed to sell? When it's high. And when does everybody sell? When it's low. And that's how it works. And so, oh my God, you should put something in the stock market. We're doing great. They never call you when they lost all their money though, right? So as we're saying that with the S&P 500 or other investments, it's not good or bad, it's just what it is. And it's important that the families understand that as they go forward. And once it went down and went back up, the reality set in again because it went down again big. Okay? So families that want to protect their money, they put it into a savings account. Okay? Now the reason that people save money, there's 4 major ones. Weddings, right? College, rainy day fund, right? Or retirement. I think most of my clients are really concerned about retirement. They want to make sure that they have enough money that they can live comfortably and not be a burden on their family. Okay? So if you look at the 4 reasons that people save, the 3 safest places to save your money are banks, insurance companies, and the federal government. Okay? Banks, insurance companies, and then federal government. Those are the 3 safest places to protect your money. Now the protection not only comes from the strength of the insurance company and the banks, but mainly it comes from the federal government. Now we had a seminar series on banks when people worried about banks going under, which we've seen a lot. It comes in from the FDIC insurance. The federal government has other insurance programs that protect annuities, protect insurance companies, and also protect banks. So that's the 3 safest places that you can really put your money. Now out of those 3 safest places, The three most common places to put your money or save your money are CDs, fixed annuities, or savings bonds. CDs, fixed annuities, or savings bonds. It's where you protect your money. You want to know that it's there. The principal is never fluctuating. The principal always stays the same. The only thing that fluctuates is the interest rates now. Okay? How's the interest rates doing? Not so good, right? Not so good. So if you look at this chart here, the green line is a bank paying 1%. Okay? It's if it was making 1%. And again, over the years, the interest rates fluctuate. But if you make 1%, at the end of this 13-year period, look where the S&P 500 is compared to a 1% bank account. It just passed it this year. Okay? So all the turmoil and all the fretting about it and everything that you have to be worried about protecting your life savings, and look at here at the end of the 13 years how close it is together. Okay? There's another way that you can do it. My clients come in. We understand this, Pat. We just don't know other way to do it. We understand the interest rates are slow. We just don't know where else to put our money. I was in the exact same boat. So as soon as we get back from our break, we're going to be talking about the way that I did it myself and for my family. So I hope you turn back in. We'll see you after the break. Thank you.
Can you tell?
Can you tell?
Does it look like I'm fighting a disease?
Fighting. Fighting for my life.
Like my life expectancy is shorter than yours?
There's no outward sign.
But we're battling every day.
Every day. Every day.
Worrying, testing, treating,
Fighting. Diabetes.
Diabetes has been called a silent epidemic. It's time to call it out for what it is. This is Brett Michaels. Join us. Choose to share, act, learn, and give. Help us stop diabetes.
I'm General Barry McCaffrey. During the Vietnam War, more than 58,000 of our troops did not come home. For every name on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, there's a life story, a story of hopes, dreams, friends, and family. Join me in supporting a new campaign to build an education center on the National Mall that will tell their stories and honor all who served. Call to learn how you can help.
Thanks for tuning back in. My name is Pat Simasko, and this is Senior Living, and we're talking about retirement planning. And before the break, we just talked about the last 13 years with the S&P 500 and how it went up and down, and then with the bank accounts. And this is showing as a 1% bank account. And I want to talk about exactly what happened in my family, okay? And we already know that my wife did not like me very much when we put the money into the mutual fund and then it dropped. And it scared us. That's money that she inherited, and she wanted to have that protected for our family. So we put it into that savings type of account to make sure it's there. Now, as time went on, and I started working, I started saving more money. And I had all of my money in a savings account, making a whopping 3% rate of return. And I talked to two different financial planners right here. And they said, why do you have all your money in a 3% bank account? You should be doing way better than that. The stock market is doing great. Diversify it. You should put it in where you can really have some potential. I go, great idea. So I put it in right there. Right there. How many people put it in right there? How many clients of mine put it in right there? A lot of them. Because I forgot about the risk involved. I didn't ask myself that question. Am I more worried about how much I'm going to make or how much I'm going to lose? So all of a sudden, I started seeing the stock market doing this. Remember a couple years ago? And I went to the broker. I said, hey, I want to pull this out. I don't like this. I'm scared. I'm losing sleep at night. And what does the broker say? Don't pull it out. Ride it out. Ride it out. Okay. And I got smart. And I started thinking about what I do to help my other clients. And I pulled it out. I was more concerned about how much I can lose than how much I can make. And I pulled it out right here. I didn't lose a dime. Okay? And this is what I did. And I'm doing Medicaid planning for the years and financial planning with my clients over the years. I looked what they had, and I looked what I did for them using this program. Okay, and I started to practice what I preach. I want to do this for myself because in my heart it works. And again, if it doesn't work for you, you really need to find an advisor that has the same philosophy as you. This is mine. This is what I did. And it's a new type of a savings program that you share in the market growth, but you never share in any market losses. Okay? You share in the market growth. You never share in any market losses. You share in the market growth, but you don't have to share in the market loss. I say that to drum it into you because there's that option. There's that option. If the stock market goes up, which we all want it to go up, I'm a stock market guy. I like the stock market. The stock market is what built our country. We want the stock market to grow. But we want to be able to have that growth potential without having to risk losing our principal. And that's called an indexed annuity, a fixed indexed annuity. This is how it works. The blue line. As the stock market goes up, you share in the stock market growth. Now the first 2 years, in the 90s, the stock market was doing great. The stock market did way better than what an index annuity did. Okay? Until right here, 2000. When the stock market crashed, this stayed level. It didn't go down. Okay? So if I ask you right here, everyone here and everyone in the audience, when that stock market crashed in 2000, would you have rather gotten zero or a 30% loss? Zero. And the next year, would you have rather gotten zero or another loss? Zero. Back then, no one had any concept of what zero was. The stock market was doing great. If I say, would you rather have zero than what the stock market does? No, I want the stock market grows. But as soon as people realize that it can go down, zero is an important number. So now, we started at 98. In 2002, the stock market's coming back up. But you see here where the stock market is? It's way down there. If the stock market drops 50%, if the stock market rebounds 50%, you're not whole. You're only halfway home. The stock market has to go up 100% to get whole. So here, the stock market's coming back up, but it's starting from way down here. Here, with an index annuity, it starts up with it where it first left off. They reset it every single year. So now, back in 2002, the stock market's going back up, and the index annuity, you're sharing in the stock market growth. You don't get all of it, and the stock market's coming back up. When you share in the stock market growth, do you know why you don't get all of the stock market growth? Yeah. If you get all of the market growth, you got to get all of the market losses, right? I don't have to worry about how much the stock market's going to go up if I don't have to worry about how much the stock market's going to go down, right? You know what that means? I can sleep at night. I can sleep at night, and that's what happened right here. The stock market, the S&P 500 finally caught up, and then, whoops, there it goes down. Now this stayed level. Now clients call me up, Pat, I didn't make any money last year on my index annuity. You know what I say? Hooray for us. We didn't lose 47% or 30% or 25%. So you have the ability to go up with it, but you don't have any downs. You win, but you never lose. Okay, now we're back here. 13 years later, look at the difference between the two. Is that amazing? Well, I did a seminar just like this. It was, when was it? Somewhere around like 2006 or 2007. And a guy in the front row says, why is that index annuity better than a mutual fund? I go, oh, he got me. He got me. And I started thinking, because you can sleep at night. You can sleep at night because you never, ever, ever have to worry about losing your principal. It's always protected. And the gains, every year your gain is locked in, and that's protected too. Your principal and your gains are locked in every year. Any questions on that? Ms. Dessler? Go ahead.
Are you penalized if you take any out, or how much are you penalized?
Very, very good question. Very good question. People have heard a lot of bad things about annuities. First of all, there's bad annuities out here. This here, I think, pretty good. Okay? What people are concerned about is liquidity. How can I get my money? Okay? Is there a surrender charge? If you look at stuff, pretty much everything that you deal with has some form of charge to get the money out. Okay? So let's talk stock. Anybody hear of General Motors stock? Okay. Could you sell General Motors stock anytime that you want to? Yes. There is no penalty for selling stock. Now, when General Motors stock is way up here, and I said, boy, we need to sell that. What's the answer? We can't sell it. It's doing too good. Right? So now all of a sudden the stock dropped. You got to sell. We can't sell. Why? You got to wait for it to come back up. Right? CDs. You got a great CD. You got a $100,000 CD, and it's a 2-year CD, a 1-year CD. If you need $1,000 and you got to get money out of the CD, what do you have to do? You have to cash in the CD, right? You have to pay a surrender charge even to get a little bit of money. Annuities, when you're dealing with insurance company, they are investing your money based on the number of years that you're buy the annuity for. There's 5-year annuities, 7 years, 10, 15 years annuity. This is the rule. Everybody should write it down. If you need your money in 5 years, don't buy a 7-year annuity. Ever think of that? If you need the money in 5 years, maybe you don't even want to do annuity at all. If you need it in 3 years, maybe you don't. IRAs. What's the worst thing about an IRA for people? They got to take money out of it, right? So annuities work great for IRAs and retirement plans. The typical annuities, the ones that we deal with, you have a 10% free withdrawal each year. Okay? If you need more than that, there's big surrender charges. But let's say you take out 10% and then you need another $1,000 on top of it. They charge you the surrender charge for that extra money. Okay. Now, not only am I a lawyer, but doing our Medicaid and VA plan, I got licensed to be a insurance salesman. I actually am licensed to do these products for you. Okay. So I know a lot about them. So yes, there are surrender charges if you take it out prior to the term. You can take out 10% each year. But for my families, and the things that we're really looking hard at is what happens if an emergency pops up. In the emergency, typically, what happens if mom has to go into a nursing home and she needs the money? The annuities that we use have nursing home waivers on them. So if mom had to go in and we needed money, you can pull all the money out without any surrender charges. Or if mom passes away, when do the family really want the money? When mom passes away, they want to be able to distribute it without going through probate. But very good question.
How short of an annuity can you get?
Typically the ones that I see are 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, 12. The longer the insurance company has the money, the more bells and whistles they can give on their products for you. So if you have I bought one, mine's a 15-year annuity. Okay, I got a bonus for putting the money in. I got a higher cap. This blue line here is a 6% cap. So if the stock market goes up, S&P 500, you get the first 6% of the growth. Okay, now they have a lot of different ways to calculate it. There's higher caps, lower caps. So what you really need to do is come on in and talk to me about that. And I love to have you guys come in and talk. Mr. Sett, do you have a question?
If you wanted to leave it in the annuity after the 5 years, but it's a 5-year, I'm sorry.
After 5 years, if you have a 5-year annuity, can you leave it there?
Sure, you can leave it there. Yeah.
So then you could take it out whenever you want, as much as you want?
There's no surrender charges after you get through the term. Okay, there's no surrender charges after you get through the term. Okay, excellent questions.
Do they still pay after that 5 years? Are you still paying the same percentage?
There could be some differences in the caps as you go along. You could, there may be some fluctuations in the guaranteed interest rates that go along too. This here, if the stock market does horrible, this is a 1% guaranteed. So if the stock market never does better, you're guaranteed that at the end you're going to get 1% per year growth. And that fluctuates too. So this is the way that I did it. When I did it, we started sleeping. We started sleeping and we started feeling good. So we don't have to worry about the stock market going up. We want the stock market to go up. It sure is great when it does. You get 6% of the growth. If the stock market goes down, you never have to worry about losing a dime of your money. That works for a lot of families that we've helped. If you want to come in and talk about it, we love to. We don't charge anything for you to come in and talk. Always, our appointments are free. When we do legal work, we charge for legal work. When we're doing a retirement plan like this, you don't pay us anything. It comes from the insurance company. And we love to get referrals. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in to Senior Living. I hope this helped. The next show we're going to be talking about, and everybody here and everybody out in the viewing audience, I guarantee you that your IRA 401k beneficiaries are wrong. They're set up wrong. We're going to be talking a lot about that in the next show. Thank you very much. My name is Pat Simasko.